Hello, YouTube family. Thank you for joining me today. In today's charm challenge number 5, I wanted something to kind of guide me, organize my thoughts on how I was going to do this. So I pulled out this paper pad. This is from Craftsmith. It's called Eucalyptus Weave from Michaels. I got it on clearance for $3, but I got this paper pad out so that I can make charms based on the colors of the paper in this paper pad. I recently made a mini journal folio using this paper pad, and it turned out so beautiful. I used one of my charms, of course, so I kind of wanted to do more with this paper pad, and I wanted to have coordinating charms, and also it'll give me some sort of guidance as to how I want to do my charm challenge for this week. I have made a few charms already, so just wanted to show you. So I have this acrylic yarn tassel, and I used this bead, which is a wood bead, which has large holes, so it fits perfectly on this tassel. And I'm just kind of going to leave this up like that. The color does a little bit go with like this flower here. The only thing is the little purple yarn that I wrapped around the tassel, but I can see if I can make it work with that. Otherwise, I can use it on something else, but I just wanted to pull out the colors that kind of is matching with this paper pad. So anyway, so this is our first charm for today. And then the next charm I've made already is this one right here, which is kind of brown in color. I don't know what kind of a bead this is, but I used 22 gauge wire to make the loop on the top. And then on the bottom, this is what it looks like. I don't have a head pin right now, so I'm working with wire to make a head pin. So it looks nice and flushed against the bead, and that's how I did this one. And then I have a little leaf here, clear glass leaf, and I did the same thing with this one. I used made a little loop on the bottom, and then made nice big loop on the top. And this one's again using the same wire, the 22 gauge. And that's, oh, and I have tiny little one here. So this little one is I think this is either 2 or 3 millimeter beads, and I just have a lot of wire wrapping happening on this. 2 little beads there. So that's what I have made so far, and I have a little shell full of beads here to work on with you guys. So let's get started. Okay, so I have this beautiful little flower. I think this is glass bead, and I have my 22 gauge wire. And I'm going to use the same wire, make the same loop as I have done on the previous ones. So I'm just going, I usually like to work right off the spool. So I'm going to put my bead through the wire and then make my bottom loop down here. So I'm going to take a round nose plier, and this one has a very thin tip. That's what I like to use. Oops, my bead fell off the spool. That's what I like to use to make the bottom tip, the little round up tip. So I hold my tip like this and then curve it halfway so that it looks like this. And then I take my chain nose plier okay, like that. And then I'm going to slide my bead down and then give myself about an inch or a little bit more if you like to work with a longer piece of wire. And then I'm going to take my round nose plier again, hold it about right there, and then bend it 90 degrees, hold it this way, and then make a loop. Make the loop halfway, hold it this way, and then bring it 90 degrees. And then I'm just straightening this up with my chain nose plier again. I am going to twist that rest of the wire so that my bead stays snug in the wire. like it's not moving around. I just want this to curve up just a little bit more. Okay, I think that looks clean. I'm going to trim off the rest. And tuck the ends in. And this one is complete. And that's what that looks like. And then for this one, now this one has a big hole as well. And I want to see if I can like do a little coiling on the bottom. So I'm just putting my bead through the spool again. I'm using a 22 gauge wire again. I'm gonna see if this will work okay. Otherwise, I might change the wire size and use a bigger one. Let's see if this will work. So I'm using the very smallest part of my chain nose plier here to make it into a little loop in the middle. Actually, I'm going to redo this a little bit because I want this loop to be smaller. Like try not to have like any kind of like space in the middle. Okay, so that is what I have so far. And I'm gonna keep coiling. Like I want a nice flat coil. I did end up with a good size hole, but that's okay because the coiling, the shape is actually looking really nice. Like it's nice and round. So I'm okay with the round open shape in the center. So you can do as many coils as you want, but I think I'm gonna stop like right there. I'm gonna see how this will look with the bead in place, and then maybe do just one more. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Like that. And then once I have the coil complete, like completely coiled up, then I'm going to bend it the other side so that it stands up nice and straight. So like over here. I'm gonna do that. Like if you see there's a nice sharp bend right there. And then I'm gonna put down my bead, and that's what it looks like. And then I'm gonna give myself about 1 inch again. And we'll do the same kind of coiling that we are, same kind of loop that we did before. And should be easier to do it on this one because the flower was a little odd shape, so it was hard to kind of coil around, loop around it. But this one should be easier. Because it's 22 gauge wire, it's not as easy to loop around as the higher gauge wires, but I want to make sure that I go all the way to the closest to the bead as possible so that the bead stays nice and snug. Like if you see, it's still sort of moving around. And actually, this makes a really nice earring too. It's actually looking really pretty for an earring, so I might actually just change this into earring. The only thing with making this an earring is I need to make sure that I got the coiling exactly the same way as this one, so that the two pieces look identical. Okay, I think I'm done at this point. I'm going to trim off the little leftover there and tuck the little end in. Okay, let's make sure that everything is straight. Oh, you know what? The whole thing is, because the hole size is so big, it's just kind of going through the loop too. So I should have just made a loop instead of this loop, instead of making the wire wrap. I wonder what I can do here. I might have to leave this one like this. And then next time, make sure to add another bead as so that it works as a stopper. Because it still works, it's just the bead is just going to be kind of moving up and down. Okay, so we're gonna be done with that. And then next thing I got is this little brown tulip, which I will, it feels kind of flat on the top. So I'll show you how to do this kind of loop on the top or the bottom. So I'm going right into the spool again. And then I'm using my round nose plier to make the little loop, tiny little loop on the top. So halfway carved up like this, taking my chain nose plier and kind of squishing it down like that. And it's kind of already bending halfway. So we're just going to help it a little bit by pressing it down. And so when you put your bead against it, it's nice and flat. And then on the top here, we're going to do the same thing. Give yourself about an inch of wire to work with. And then make a loop. And then just wrapping the wire around on the top. Now this one was an easy one. Didn't give me much trouble. Just coming together nice and easy. I just want to finish this loop over on this side. And we'll call it a day for this one. I'm just tucking the end in, and that is it. And so for this one, it's a nice little shell bead, and I have a pearl here. And so I want to kind of do the same thing, but I want this to go through this on the top. So this sits in the middle like that. So I might actually just do this. So there's a hole on this side and hole on this side. And so I don't know if I should go through both holes of the bead or just kind of have it only on one side. But let's see. Yeah, I think, you know what, I'm just going to go through one side. So I'm going to make the same loop again, the tiny loop to stop the bead from falling. So half loop and then pushing it down with the chain nose plier like that. And then I'm just going to straighten that loop a little bit. And then I'm going to give myself a lot of room for this one because I don't know how this is going to play out. So, and then here I want to put it through only one of the holes. So, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Oh yeah. So it kind of hangs just on the top like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we're just going to make the loop like we have been making. The longer you give yourself this wire space, the easier it is to wrap, but you will also be wasting because eventually you'll have to cut it off. So like this one, I'm gonna have an easy time wrapping this up, but I know I'm gonna have to waste like this much, which is a lot for me. So here we go, trim that off. And tuck it in. Now this loop is slightly crooked. So I'm just going to straighten this up with my plier. Okay, that's what we got for this one. And then this little guy, let's see, can we use this? Probably can. We'll try, and if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to get rid of it anyway. So okay. And this one, I'm just going to do the loop that doesn't require wrapping. I'm just going to make a big loop with this, like that. Simple as that. Now these little guys, we're going to make this here. I wanted to make 3 and put it in a jump ring, but let's see. Let's see how that works. So I'm going to take a 20 gauge for that, a 24 gauge wire for that. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 of these. And so we're going right off the spool, and then one side, the side that has the end, I'm bringing it up to the other side, so folding it in half and then just coiling on the top. Because the beads are so small, it's a little bit harder to work with. And I'm going to leave that one right there and cut about, maybe is this half? maybe a little more than 1/2 inch. And then I'm making the loop small too because, I mean, the whole thing is tiny, so. And then I want the caps on the bar, this straight part here, wrapping together the both ends. So I'm kind of paying attention to where and how I want this to end up. So I want it on this side of my wire and not this side, so that they can both loop together like that. And then so I'm taking both wires and just wrapping them together. And then cutting the rest of that off. Okay, tucking the ends and just pulling it up and making sure that it's straight. So that's one. Let's see. We'll do this again. I'll show you on the video one more time, and then I will finish. How many more can I get? 1, 2, 2 more, and I'll do 2 more off camera. So I'm putting my beads through the wire and then bending the end, about giving myself an inch or so, bending it upwards and making a loop with it on the top around the beads and the wire. I've actually made an earring with the similar design. I will link the video in the description box so that you can, if you want to, you can check that earring video out too. So I'm going to go 1 more and then give me about 1 inch or half, and then making a loop on the top. And then wrapping the 2 wires together. Oh, this loop became tiny. Okay, and then getting rid of that extra piece of wire, tucking everything in. And that's that. Now I'll make 2 more and then be right back. Okay, so I got I got 5 of these, or actually 5 of these made, and I'm going to take 3 of these and put it in a jump ring. So I'm going to make a jump ring with a 18 gauge wire. So I got my wire and I got my I forgot what these pliers are called. Oh, bail making pliers. We're going to take the bail making pliers and we are going to make a jump ring with this. And then I'm going to slide my 3, and I picked these 3 because these have the smallest loop. These 2 kind of have larger size loops on the top, so I can use those for something else, but I feel like these going in this big jump ring will make a really nice like dangles like that. And then it will kind of has a flow to it too. Okay, so I don't know how many earrings that, or how many charms that were, but we're almost done. While I was making those, then I thought of how I can fix this one. So I thought maybe instead of just kind of leave it like this, I can try to coil this up a little bit more. So like that, and bring it all the way to all the way close to the bead. and then bending it. I'm using a nylon jaw plier at this point. So there's not much moving around going on with the bead. I think I can go maybe just even a little bit more. And then twist it back. Let's see. Okay, I think that's much better. See, it's not moving as much. So that's fixed a little bit. And those are all the charms for today. And let's bring our charm container, our charm jar. And that's what we have going on. We have the bottom filled nicely. And we are going to put these in there, including our little tassel. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys like it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.